Thank you for being here on this special occasion, everyone, as we celebrate the launch of a very special poetry collection, As You Slip Away by Aniqah. In a world where loss is an inevitable part of our journey, the words we share can be a balm for our hearts. If we are to heal, we have to release our pain and learn to love in the moment once more. Thank you, Aniqah, for being courageous, raw, vulnerable, to share this work of art, this labor of love with us and the rest of the world. Please join me in welcoming Delia to do the About the Poet segment.
Today, I proudly have the distinct honor of introducing an extraordinary writer who has made her indelible mark on the literary world. Her first book, But Are You Really Sorry?, wasn't like every other poetry book. It was a visionary poetry journal that allowed the reader to hold hands and dance with the author's words. So moving was the book that it was nominated as the TCK Publishing 2022 Self-Help Book, and not only won its category, but was the overall grand prize winner. Aniqah was recognized by NALIS as a first-time author, and a signed copy of her first book, But Are You Really Sorry?, is immortalized in the Heritage Library. Dear friends, I invite you to join me in celebrating not only her literary accomplishments, but remembering those who she has dedicated the book to, that of influencer who she has become. It is an honor to introduce an author who inspires us to embrace our own journeys with courage, passion, and resilience. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us for a wonderful evening with the remarkable poet AniqahBe as we embark on a journey through her extraordinary life and literary achievements.
Grief can be overwhelming, but it is important to remember you are loved and it's okay to lean on others for strength. Let us welcome Zara Ali, passionate student and music aficionado, to the stage, who will be playing a rendition of Tum Hi Ho for us. Zara. What Aniqah loves about that song is that it reminds you that God will never give you more than you can handle, and He will send people in your life who will guide you to the right path and remind you of the beauty of life. The song Tum Hi Ho is about letting go of sadness and appreciating the people we have in our lives because our fates have been intertwined with theirs. Aniqah selected it as a tribute to all the heroes in her life. Her parents for their unconditional love and support, her sister for being her rock and her strength, her family and friends, most of whom are here today, who shower her with encouragement to pursue her dreams, and her grandparents, who she dedicated this book to for their love. The choice of her editor was easy. Amaara, a very difficult taskmaster, not only is talented and creative, but lived the grief with Aniqah, so she was adequately poised to help her along. I would like to invite our editor, Amaara Beharry, Aniqah's sister, to share her reflections on the journey of bringing this poetry collection to life.
Thank you, Auntie Vinny, for the warm introduction, and thank you all for gathering here today to celebrate this book, a collection of raw and powerful reflections on grief and healing. I'd like to share a bit about my experience working on this project. When Aniqah first asked me to be the editor, I'll admit I was hesitant. I worried initially that my role might be limited to checking grammar and spelling, but it quickly became so much more than that. I found myself connecting deeply with each piece, dissecting what Aniqah truly wanted to express and helping shape her message for you, the reader. Aniqah had so many beautiful ideas that it was sometimes hard to get her to stop adding more. Eventually, we both agreed we needed to decide on a deadline just to get her to finally close the book on this project. Pun fully intended. The aim of this book was to help you, the reader, understand that you are not alone and that this grief you feel is simply love. Among the beautiful works in this project, I had several favorites, some of which she would have already posted on her social media. I did ask permission for me to read one of her poems. Out of fear that I will cry reading any of the others, I've chosen Hush, Don't Cry for Me. For those of you that have your book, you can turn to page 54. When you told me not to cry for you, I couldn't understand. Surely you'd know I would be devastated if you were no longer there to hold my hand. You must know how I would be distraught if you were no longer there, to shower me with your unconditional love. How could you expect me not to cry when my earth would be shattered beyond recognition? I did not understand it then, but now I think I do. You wanted me to be strong, not just for me, but for you. So to my loved ones, when I go, do not cry for me too much. Know I have lived the life I was promised by God, and I know how much I was loved. Do not be sad when I go, where or how or why. I don't tell you not to cry, but don't let the grief consume your life. Know I lived as I did, for us all and God to bear witness. And know that if I am there with Him, I am in a better place. So please just pray for my forgiveness. Ask God to forgive me for all my bad deeds, and pray to God that we shall find each other in the hereafter, to embrace one day again when all we shall feel is love, no longer as grief. When I read this poem for the first time, I thought about the deep emotional struggle between grief and love. Aniqah acknowledges the pain of separation and the urge to grieve, yet somehow also conveyed a heartfelt message. It's natural to feel sad, but the essence of our loved ones live on in the love that they leave with us. This book reminds us that even when we feel alone in our grief, we are connected by the shared experience of loss and love. We all cope differently, and by sharing, we can find both comfort and strength in each other. Thank you for trusting me as your editor and for allowing me to be a part of this remarkable journey. To everyone who has already purchased and will purchase the book, thank you.
Now the moment that we've all been waiting for, a reading from the author herself. Aniqah, we welcome you with open arms as you share some of your beautiful poetry with us.
As with everything, we begin by giving thanks to God for His mercy of allowing us to gather here. I had one goal for this evening, which was to not cry, but alas, let's see how far it takes before the tears start to fall again. Flowers are my love language. I love the deeper meaning and symbolisms of the species and colors of flowers and plants. Many people have commented that they love the cover, which I spent days working on. I wanted to incorporate each of my grandparents' favorite flowers. Pink roses for Mama Afros, bougainvilleas for Papa Irvin, orchids for Mama Shanti. And when I asked Papa Muntaz what his favorite flower is, he said lotus because he gets a better consistency for his roti with it. After I told him plants, we had a good laugh and he told me hibiscus. For my honorary grandparents, Uncle Zira and Auntie Zuri, there are cherry blossoms to honor how they showered me with love and support when I was studying in Canada. You can see each of these, even the lotus, on the cover as an ode to my grandparents who influenced the person I am today. Those who know me know that I process my emotions through writing. Art brings me peace, but writing is how I breathe and it brings me solace. As you slip away, reinforces that grief is not a straight line that you progress to acceptance, but cycles and phases that you go through periodically. In Mama Afro's and Papa Irvin's winter years, I cycled through the stages of grief before and after their passing. Before and after, I grieved for the moment, before I accepted that they would no longer be here, and I wished so desperately for more time. The first poem that I want to read for you today is A Little More. A little more. If we had a little more time, what could we have done with it? Would we have soared through our bucket list, or would we have, as we know, likely procrastinated? Would you have told me all the things that I desperately wished to know? Would you have shared your innermost secrets? Did you have more to grow? If we had a little more time, would we have wasted it on movies and silly games? Would we have filled our days with bacchanal and drama, or would we have been brave enough to stand up on every stage? Would we have written all the stories that we ever wanted to tell? Would we have grabbed the pen of our own book and taken charge of that as well? If we grabbed the pen writing our lives, could we have scratched off what was ordained? Is there another universe where you are not gone? How can I get there? Is there a way you could have been saved? Was there any other way? It's foolish to think, I know, that we could have changed fate, but I long to dream of a world wherein you got to stay.
Ephemeral. How strange and beautiful it is that our lives are so rich with wonder and stardust, short and fleeting as it may seem when compared to our universe's vast ethereal grandeur. What lies before and what lies after, what we know and what we have yet to learn, what we have seen and what we yearn to see, what we believe and what we dream. In the infinitude of time and space, the evanescence of our lives in itself is intricately woven into the cosmos, etched in the moon's craters and the colors of the earth. We were here, and we were beautiful and disastrous, and we tried, and we didn't always try hard enough. Our world will taste of our memory long after we were gone, even if we weren't here for that long. This is one of the poems I wrote when the grief finally started to hit me. Processing that I would no longer see the ones I love has always been so difficult. But one thing my mom always encouraged us to do is to pray and make dua for the ones that we love. And the last poem I'll read for you today, it's very special to me. It's a poem dedicated to those we have lost. In Islam, the prayers we make for those who have passed adds to their blessings. We pray for those who have passed to have an easy transition and be welcomed into the highest of heavens. The last poem today is Darling, I'll Pray For You. In every prayer I have prayed since you have been gone, I pray for you, for your peace and God's mercy on your soul. I pray for your legacy to live on in those who remain behind, and your goodness to infect all those who bask in your light. I pray for any of your sins, few, small, and all, to be wholly forgiven, and any you may have hurt to remember your love and think of you fondly from now on. I pray for you to be comfortable wherever you are, and for God to embrace you in his loving arms. I pray for your ascension to the highest of heavens. I pray to have even an ounce of your goodness. I pray that your dreams for us become a reality. I pray that somehow, some way, you can see them come true. I pray that you know we will always love you, and I know while you wait, you love me too. Thank you so much to everyone who made this day possible. Family and friends who helped. My parents for driving me around everywhere to collect everything we needed for today and adding that extra pizzazz to make everything look perfect. From the beautiful decor outside to the book packaging. Thank you to Auntie Beanie for emceeing and all of her advice to make this day possible. My talented cousin Zara for her beautiful performance, Shuba for the beautiful and delicious desserts that y'all are gonna have outside, Steffan, Sera and Sheryce for collecting the refreshments that are outside, Odell and Rudra for your videography and photography, Auntie J, Auntie Sherry, Auntie Raisa, Auntie J, Auntie Sherry and Raisa for all of your support and encouragement. Thank you to the staff at NALIS for coming out on a weekend to help and keeping us safe. Our family and friends, Auntie Sita, who came almost before everybody else, for helping us set up. Amaara for her masterful word weaving, for being patient with me while I added many poems and sections of the book. I really want people to see my work before it's in the world, but I chose Amaara because we experienced this grief together, and this book wouldn't honestly be what it is without her. My parents and my 3 sets of grandparents have molded me into the person that I am today. Your love and support make each day brighter. In the midst of our grief, you have been so resilient, strong, and there for us, and I appreciate and love you so much. Papa Montaz, thank you for reminding us of the importance of faith, and Mama Shanti, thank you so much for all of your love that you shower us with. Everyone else who helped out and took the time to be here, I hope you enjoyed the program, and I look forward to greeting you outside after to get your book signed for photos.
Before we conclude, I just want to take a moment to acknowledge Aniqah's parents. Whilst this book and everything about today has been about the grandparents, and they're super important, I want to especially acknowledge Annie and Keith. They're sitting all the way at the back. Could you all please stand? Because without you all, Aniqah wouldn't exist. And this, what you see here today, is really not a culmination, but I think the start of a wonderful, wonderful journey Aniqah is going to take. I had challenged her even before her first book that she'll be on the Oprah's Book Club pick one day. And she's already won with her first book, Amazon bestseller, top bestsellers in category, and the TCK Global Publishing Prize for being first. So we're not putting pressure on you at all. You know, I'm not that aunt. Seriously, I'm not that aunt. But we just see the beginnings of something so beautiful and so wonderful, and we're very honored to be a part of it.